If you could stand up, Ms. Perez Mag. Is there anything you wish to say at this time before sentence is imposed?
Here it comes. The final moment before sentencing. Mrs. Perez Mag is about to speak. And trust me, what she says next might change how you see her entire case. Pay attention to her tone, not just her words.
Yeah, I would like to read a statement. I have caused you all pain that cannot be measured and forever changed so many lives. I pray for forgiveness from the Benson family.
This sounds like genuine remorse. But here's where it gets complicated. In court, remorse isn't just about saying sorry. Judges often look for accountability. Did she take full responsibility, or is she trying to explain it away? Let's see if she truly owns what happened.
And from Joseph Ryan's family, and from Valerie, I will never forgive myself for the pain caused. I hope that my cooperation in this case somehow begin to help repair the damage caused. There is nothing I could possibly do to make it up to you, to your loss. Sorry. There are so many regrets, but this is my biggest. That's a tragedy I have been carrying with me, and I will always do. It's something I have nightmares with.
Here's the grooming angle. She's painting herself as manipulated. And while that can be a mitigating factor, the law still sees you as responsible for your choices. The question is, did that relationship truly control her actions? Or is this emotional framing before sentencing?
That tragedy, I know I can never take back the devastation of what I have done. I know that my remorse cannot bring you peace. I hope you might someday understand that I truly do not believe that his plan would have actually happened. I have grown so much over the past 3 years. I look back at my younger self, at 22 years old, falling head over heels for someone 15 years older. They only seeing his good side and clinging to someone that showed me love. I lost myself in a relationship, leaving my morals and values behind, and putting even my loved ones through this. My time in jail has been a time of reflection for me to better myself in more ways than I realized I needed. I had to find myself again. That's when I truly found God, when I had lost the desire to live, when I wanted to die. The guilt and feelings that I didn't deserve to live and that I was a monster were overwhelming. In God, I found the forgiveness.
This part always hits hard. A child losing both parents to one tragedy. What do you think? Can something like this ever be fully forgiven when a child's life is shattered forever?
And mercy, and I am restored. Jail is not a place you can bear to let yourself drown in those feelings. I wanted to disconnect from my pain and the guilt and get into survival mode to stay mentally sane, because inevitably, with the memories come pain. Yet, I know I will live with this for the rest of my life. God and I only know the shame and guilt and sorrow I carry for all I have caused. Sorry for Joe's family and Christine's family. Sorry for Valerie, an innocent little girl who has so much love that will grow without her mother and now her father. This is a heavy burden to carry, knowing you could have prevented it at all from happening. I understand that I am to blame, and I'm truly sorry for the pain it caused. I hope someday I can be forgiven, as I hope to be able to forgive myself. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right. In this matter, the court does find that the manslaughter charge was a large benefit of your bargain for testifying, which was a huge bargain in a plea deal. You could have been facing life plus 3 years, and now the maximum I can sentence you to today is 10 years. That's clearly a trade for your cooperation with the Commonwealth and what the Commonwealth offered. And you accepted that along with the Commonwealth's recommendation for time served, which is not an agreement, and as you know, not binding on the court, as we discussed at length at your plea. The reduction of the charge is a mitigation. I have watched your interviews and I watched you testify, and I just cannot find any further mitigation factors for your case. You may not have come up with a plan, agreed, and an older man...
Okay, this is key. The judge is laying out. Her plea deals save her from life in prison. But notice how he's rejecting the grooming narrative. In his eyes, she wasn't just a victim. She was a willing participant. That's a massive legal distinction.
May have groomed you to a point, but I want to list for the record the facts that I cannot equate with accepting a time-served recommendation. These are aggravating factors either not fully captured or not reflected in the sentencing guidelines. Number one, until today, you have shown no empathy for the victim in this case. Number two, you were more involved with the plan than you testified to. First off, there were numerous postings on social media platforms and text platforms looking for a target. Texting and speaking directly with Joseph Ryan, encouraging him to bring the knife, and ultimately through the phone conversation, getting his consent, knowing all along you were bringing him to his death. Lying to Christine and setting up the plan for the zoo, using her devices and hiding her phone, using a child as a pawn in your plan, waiting outside for Joseph to show up, calling Mr. Banfield to bring him to the scene, and at any point for at least the month prior or that day, you could have stopped this. The plan did not work without your full involvement. Number three, having the loaded firearm in your pocket. Number four, bringing a child into the basement knowing two people were about to be murdered, to include the child's mother.
That's the nail in the coffin. When a judge calls your case the most serious he's ever seen, there's no leniency left. 10 years may sound light, but this statement ensures her legacy in the courtroom record is anything but merciful.
Number five, hearing Christine ask you to call 911, which you did and then immediately hung up. Number six, seeing Joseph Ryan, who was shot in the head at that time, still moving and walking up to him as he lay moaning on the floor and shooting him point blank in the heart. Number seven, watching as Mr. Banfield stabbed Christine over and over again. Number eight, waiting 15 minutes before recalling 911. Number nine, telling a fabricated story for over a year and a half, a story that depicted Joseph Ryan wrongly as a rapist and a murderer, an innocent man. And number 10, telling the child it was okay to call you mommy hours after the murder. Your actions were deliberate, self-serving, and demonstrated a profound disregard for human life. So let's get it straight. You do not deserve anything other than incarceration and a life of reflection on what you have done to the victim and this family. May it weigh heavily on your soul. So today I'm sentencing you on a manslaughter charge because that's what's before me, and the facts of this case demonstrate an intentional and calculated level of violence that is the most serious manslaughter scenario that this court has ever seen. Therefore, I do sentence you to 10 years in the penitentiary, as required by Virginia Code 19.2, 295.2. After you've completed your 10-year sentence, I will order an additional 2 years suspended, and you will be placed on probation pursuant to Virginia Code 19.2, 303. Since you have been convicted of a felony in Virginia, a sample of your DNA will also be drawn for the state police database. Are there any questions, Mr. Campbell? All right, anything further in this case? No, ma'am. Okay. All right, you're remanded to the custody of the sheriff. I believe that completes the docket. Is that correct? I believe so. Okay. Court will be in recess. All rise. Court's in recess.